Hey friend, welcome back to an episode of Business Time. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how I let my clients download the final files from the projects that we worked on. It's a really awesome tip. And let's just get right into the best part. So how I share my files with my clients is I upload them to Dropbox, but instead of just using the normal Dropbox share link, I take that link and at the very end of it, it says DL equals 0. What you can do is change that to DL equals 1. Then you can take that link, put it into a button on your website, or just paste it directly in an email. And when the client clicks on that link, it will automatically start downloading the file instead of taking them to the random Dropbox user interface, which totally sucks. I legit can't handle this noise. I'm gonna close the door. Now my shot looks awful. So I'm gonna show you an example that I made for Casey Neistat after we went surfing in Boise together on a river. I shot a bunch of footage that I wanted to be able to share with him so that way he could use it in the vlog. So what I did was made a page directly on my website. That's what we're looking at here. This is leftcoast.co/Casey Neistat, so you can actually go there and follow along. And it's basically just a website that has some text for Casey. Hey, here's some footage for you. And then what we've got is 4 videos embedded of different footage that I already pre-cut selects out of, and then the download for each one of those. So you can see the preview of what the element is and then the download button. Often what I'll do is have multiple download links of different formats. So some will be ProRes for archive and some will be web formats for them to upload. So this is kind of cool because you can customize it for each one of your clients. But what I like about this is that it's minimal. You don't have so many different buttons going on. And what I hate about the Dropbox layout, if you just send them a Dropbox share link, oftentimes I'll get an email back, okay, but how do I download it? And the Dropbox web player is pretty brutal in my opinion. It lags, it sucks at loading the video. So I prefer embedding them with a Vimeo, just a private video, so you can actually just have them embedded right on the site. So we've got an individual private page made on my website. So I'm building this on Squarespace because it's really quick to do it and just effortless for setting up multiple pages with passwords. You can build this on whatever you want because it's not limited just to Squarespace. This video is sponsored by Squarespace actually, and I really like it as a platform, but this trick isn't limited just to Squarespace. So if we go over here, we've got the primary navigation on my website. These are all the pages that are essentially public where they're linked in the navigation. And then a little lower down, we have the not linked pages. Google might still cache this in their search results. So that's why you might want to add passwords for your private ones for clients. But these are typically ones that you would only get to if you sent someone the link directly. So here's actually maybe even a better example that I should have started with, but this is the Spotlight premiere video I made for Shawn Mendes. And if we go over here, basically, as we look at this page and all the elements in it, we've got the full Spotlight premiere video with the download link. And then in the text down here, I actually have a link to a previous version, just referencing previous files that we worked on. But here's what I wanted to show you, which is a social versions. So here we have the Square version 4 parts, 16:9. So these are all the different assets that the client might want to be able to upload to the different platforms. And I like uploading stuff in this way because it's very clean. Again, I just like keeping it simple. So looking at some of these elements here, for example, these video embeds, if we click edit on this page, if we wanted to swap this out, it would just be as easy as copying a new link and pasting it right there in that spot. And then over on these buttons, these are just your standard buttons. So if we were to make a new one, we would click right there, button, put the text of what we wanted it to be. So this would be example, download, and then just add through the URL. So we're gonna take just a sample Dropbox file here for the example, and we right click this, copy Dropbox link, Command V, change the 0 at the end to 1. So now on this example page, if someone clicks that download link, it just starts downloading the file immediately. Now the downside of this is it takes you to this basically dead URL, but I still prefer this method over actually going to the Dropbox UI, which just feels an extra layer of complicated. I want to break down a little bit of theory stuff here because this is what's important to me about this process. So again, I love creating this special experience for clients, but this is all about managing expectations in the process of delivering a final file. So something that I talk about again and again is you need to be proud of what you're presenting in the final version that you're giving to your clients. I never, ever, ever send my first draft to a client and go, hey, what do you think? Because that's almost setting up the client to go, well, what do I think? What should I be thinking in this moment? And like, is this video not good enough? Like, what's going on here? Some of my clients are more experienced with the video process than others, but I find I like to really dictate how I want this process to go. And so right from those first phone calls with the client, I'm communicating to them how I work. And how I work is we don't do 20 rounds of revisions. That's just, that's unacceptable to me. I don't want to add all that build time to an end of an invoice. I just want it to be cleaner. And when I'm sending the first version to a client, I truly am trying to send the best possible thing that I could make for them, because I obsess about the edits that I work on. You know, I don't really want those notes of, oh, hey, maybe we should swap out the song. Maybe we should do this. Like, these are all things that I should have checked with them earlier on in the process. When I'm sending them back the video on this webpage, a lot of people send it on these platforms where you can add timestamp notes and circle things. And the reason why I don't tend to use those for almost every single project is because it sets the expectation that they should have revisions. So let me be very clear. If you send them a video where it gives the client all these tools to like timestamp where they want to say, hey, I don't like this person's t-shirt, it's basically asking the client to do lots of those kinds of things. And that's the expectation that is set. Now, this isn't true for every client, but I've found more often than not, if I send my video on one of those platforms, I tend to get back a lot more notes. And I don't really enjoy notes. I like notes that make the story better and make the video better serve the clients. But as we know, most often the notes that you get back from a client aren't actually ones that are truly helpful for the project, because maybe they don't actually know what would make the video better. They just know that something's maybe off. So I like having the conversation more on a big picture level. And what I do to guide this is I go, these are the goals that we set out from the very beginning of this project. This is why you paid me to make a video to solve this problem for your business, because we want to make videos that make our clients money so that way they're willing to invest in the video. I talk about this a lot, but I'm really passionate about this, so bear with me. So when we send over this webpage to the client to download the video assets, often what I'll do is I'll explain in a paragraph or two of how this video accomplishes the goals that we set out to accomplish from the very beginning. And this to me is like a celebratory time. I'm not sending over that website link and just like being super timid and going, wow, I hope they don't regret hiring me. At this point, we're just so deep in the process that we're kind of married together anyways. So to me, this is a celebration. So much work has come to this point. So it's celebratory. It's here is the thing that we made together. This is why it is awesome. I'm talking about all the great things. And then often I have a paragraph or two in there where I acknowledge some of the limitations. I explain, hey, we had to compromise in these areas, but we problem solved in the way we put together the edit in these ways. So I love having a couple paragraphs in there to just like brag about how this video meets the goals of the project. So that way, when the client's there watching the video, they're seeing through the lens of, right, even if maybe this isn't my favorite music choice, this video still fits solving the goals, because as storytellers and creatives, what we do is subjective. And to me, this is just being honest. I think if you're expecting the client to give you multiple time-stamped notes to make the video better, I have questions about the professionalism of the work that we're doing, because we should be internally doing those types of notes with peers, with people that we trust with storytelling methods. And so I send my videos to sometimes colleagues and other professionals to give those types of time-stamped notes, but I'm usually not looking for the client to give those types of time-stamped notes. This isn't about being difficult. Let me just be clear. If a client doesn't like something, I really do want to make that right, but I don't want to set the expectation that they should find lots of things not to like. So I'm going to tell you some more about some other ideas for videos like this that I have in a moment, and I want to get some of your feedback on that, so stick around. But I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, and that is Squarespace. So I just absolutely love Squarespace because they've been a big supporter of the channel, and I really like their product. So I actually got a link of videos here down in the description and a playlist that I put together of other tips and tricks of how I've used my Squarespace site for impressing my clients. So if you want to figure out really cool ways that I've been using my site in the past, like if you found this method awesome, I've got a whole playlist of videos kind of like this. So check those out because they're awesome. But what's cool about Squarespace, again, what you're seeing me do in this video is just effortlessly go into my website, change and update it. So I don't need to talk to a web developer. I don't need to talk to a graphic designer. I'm neither of those things, and yet I can do this very effortlessly myself. And that's what makes Squarespace awesome as an all-in-one platform. You can register your domain there. It's like all your hosting and website managing all built into one awesome, easy to use system. I can go onto any computer, go to my website and make these changes, which is super great. With their editor, you never need to update or change or like install new plugins. That was something that I ran into with my previous website setup that I cobbled together, where I would try to change things and then suddenly I broke my whole website. And so what I appreciate about Squarespace is that the visual editor makes it very easy for me to understand what I'm doing to my website. But then that looks great across all devices. And I haven't had it happen where I like embed a video and then suddenly I just broke my website. If this sounds exciting to you, you can head over to Squarespace and start a trial and just build a website. You can mess around, see what it looks like to you. And then when you're ready to get started, use my link for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Super cool. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring the channel. So I'm pumped on these business style videos. I want to make more stuff like this. I get really just super stoked when people message me saying that this stuff was helpful. I just get such a kick out of that. So please hit me up on Twitter or Instagram if you found this stuff helpful. Use the hashtag Life's Better When You Make Stuff if you share projects that you're working on. But I want to make more business-y type videos like this. So if there's anything that I talked about here that you're kind of like, hey, I'd love to hear you go more into those topics, please let me know, because I want to be helpful. And truthfully, in the past year, I've had a really hard time like being willing to make unperfect videos that are helpful, because in my head I think that they have to be these perfect masterpieces. So this is just me in the van trying to make something that I know will be helpful to you, and if it is, let me know. But that's it for now. So remember, life's better when you make stuff. Peace.